Welcome to JoshPaulGames. I am, of course, Josh. I'm here today with a video about my beloved game series, Command & Conquer. This is a game where I plowed hours and hours in. I mainly played Red Alert 2, but I remember the first time that I ever saw Command & Conquer, and it was around a friend's house, and I think it was on his dad's PC, and all I saw was the first Command & Conquer, Tiberian Dawn, which they never call it Tiberian Dawn. It's just Command & Conquer in my eyes. But I saw it, and I saw the gameplay. I only saw about like 10 minutes worth, and I was like, oh my god, this is the type of game I can get into. I don't know, probably about 10 or something at the time, and I don't know, just got me so excited. It was brilliant, you know, moving these units around the tanks, getting some infantry, building your base, building your defenses, building an army. I thought that was amazing. But this video is about, like, where the hell, or what's happened to the Command & Conquer series, really, and where the hell has it gone? Is it coming back? I think most people, well, if people know about Command & Conquer, you know, EA have announced that they're remastering the original Command & Conquer, Tiberian Dawn, along with all the expansion packs, along with Red Alert. Not Red Alert 2, which is really annoying, but Red Alert and the expansion packs there. So I thought I was just going to go through it and just, you know, explain kind of what they're doing while I play a little bit of each kind of Red Alert, which in the background, really. So first of all, we've got I mean, this is just wonderful. I love. So this is great. The cutscenes in Command & Conquer made it, you know, with the live action kind of actors, like with Tanya and stuff, and the generals, and it was cheesy, but like this. But it's just so good. I mean, and here we go. Here's Nod. So obviously in the original Command & Conquer, you have two factions. GDI. There we go. Harvesting the Tiberian there for all of the monies, and then obviously you had Nod. Yeah, and obviously it was Kane, the leader of Nod. I think just these graphics at the time were just off the chart. I was thinking, oh my god, this is so good, you know. This came out early 90s, was it? I've got to check this out. Command & Conquer release date, like 1995. 1995. So it's man, there's a long time ago. It's a long time ago. What are we looking at? 24 years. Wow. But I don't know. I loved the base building aspect. I was all about building, you know, walls and defenses and stuff. I was more about defense and attack. Although, when I got into Red Alert, and that was probably the first game I played online. Let's skip to the gameplay here. We've got enough bloody of the. I mean, look, this is the thing. We've got the general and blood. Adverse, ridiculous. Anyway. Give that. This is great. Just giving you your mission. Here's Kane, the leader of Nod. Man, this takes me back. It's just the campaigns were so great because of this kind of the acting part of it. And the cutscenes just made it so good. I've kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, so yeah, no, the Red Alert was what was it, Red Alert 2? Maybe Red Alert 2, which was my first ever game I played online, I think. And man, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I got really good at because you had to build certain buildings in a certain order to make it, and certain units in certain order to get what was I trying to say, to be as efficient as possible to build up an army as quickly as possible, because otherwise, you know, the other players will just rush you and just wipe you out. So
And there are also these little like strongholds which everyone knew on every map, where if you got to those strongholds first and you were able to defend them, then that was it. The game was over. But this is just great. Look, you got the command center coming up here. Units, little barracks here, repairing those as well. Ah, man, it is. Here we go, command center. Just brilliant. Then you obviously got the building animations. Wonderful stuff. The original game was just so great. It was amazing. So what's happening with the remastered version? Well, basically, EA I'm always skeptical of EA. I really am. Obviously, what they've done in recent games. This is obviously it was Westwood Studios who came out with this and developed the game first, and this was they are the ones who should have credit. EA then, I think maybe bought the franchise, but EA and Petroglyphs, they're another studio which are mainly made up of the developers and the co-founders and stuff of Westwood Studios, which obviously released the game in the first place. So they've joined forces to remaster the Command & Conquer franchise, which is going to be great, because at least if you've got the original guys who worked on the original games, then they're going to do it right, which is fantastic. What they've said, I've picked off a couple of from I think PC Gamer's website, just a couple of points here. So what they're saying is their primary goal with the visual approach is to maintain the authenticity of the original in-game asset. So that's the thing. I don't think they're going to obviously bringing the graphics and obviously the resolution up to current specs. I think they're going to go to 4K as well, which would just be beautiful. But this old school kind of top down look here, I think they're going to maintain that, but just there'll be a lot more detail, which is just going to be fantastic, because this is a gameplay that made the franchise. This is a type of this is a type of gameplay that just made it so great to play and entertaining. Apparently they had to try to find the original source code for the games as well. So apparently, this is probably a few months ago now, but they've been searching to acquire the majority of the source code from both original Command & Conquer and original Red Alert. They've got the majority, apparently, because it wasn't a complete archive. So they're going to have to try to maybe fill in the rest of the source code. But I mean, if you've already got the original guys from Westwood Studios, which are now Petroglyph, working on it, it's not going to be an issue. Not going to be an issue at all. So it's great that the guys from Westwood are getting involved. Like I said, it's going to make sure that it's going to be done right, and that's what we want as Command & Conquer fans. They've lost their way a little bit, because I think, wasn't it last year, maybe at E3 or something, they released like a mobile Command & Conquer game. It looked just absolutely crap, if you ask me. And it's just ruining the franchise, which EA does a lot. So having the original guys on board makes sure that hopefully it's going to be all above board and done to the letter. What else have we got here? So they're getting Frank, I gotta get this name right, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but Frank Lepacki, who is responsible for the soundtrack of the Command & Conquer series. So if anyone's played Command & Conquer, they know, as soon as they hear the soundtrack, they know that's Command & Conquer, right? They know that. It's just so distinctive and so memorable. God, especially just Red Alert as well. Man, that soundtrack was great. So good. And it makes the game. It's so good. So pretty much all the Command & Conquer games that I've played, I don't think I've played Command & Conquer 3 that much. played Generals, which I'll play again. So here we go. So we've done that's the kind of the original, the first Command & Conquer. Here's the first Red Alert. It's a bit of gameplay from first Red Alert. Oh my god, this is really bad quality. See if I can find a better video here. A little bit better. Here we go. This might be a little bit better. That was all so blurry. Here we go. This is a bit better. Oh god, man, Red Alert. It takes me back. This is brilliant. I love it. So are they going to change anything from the originals? Well, what they're saying is there's a few hints in the original announcement blog that Petroglyph and EA are at least discussing tweaking a few things about the games. So they're going to keep obviously the Command & Conquer feel. I think what they're saying is they're remastering it. They're not remaking it. They're remastering it. So there will be tweaks. Like the graphics, there's probably going to be tuned AI as well, because I know there was from the community they were saying, "Oh, can you fix the AI of what was it? The Harvester in Tiberian Dawn, the Harvester AI," because I think it was a bit broken from now and then. I think it was the path finding of the harvesters wasn't the best, so god damn it, they took ages to harvest. I wonder if they'll speed it up a little bit. But so they're going to obviously tweak a few things. They're going to speak to the community, and I think there's various Reddit posts which are going to get the community together to discuss how they can improve the original games. Obviously they want to keep the same feel of the original games, because that's what made them so great. So again, they've said it's not about remaking, it's about remastering it and just tweaking and adapting the originals and bring it into like the 21st century, which is great, which is brilliant. So they went on to say, obviously leaning on community feedback, needing to retain authenticity while updating the game for modern players, which is perfectly fine. I have no problem at all. I love that one person said, "Hey, fix the pathfinding of the ore trucks and Red Alert." Yes, while you're at it, and maybe keep Tanya from wandering into the path of a flame turret, which is, I mean, all kind of legitimate things. Which kind of the thing is, you keep those things in the game because that's what made the game so great in the first place. Because the kind of the broken bits of the game, like the tiny thing, like the ore trucks, and sometimes that's what kind of made it frustrating. But that's what made the game. But if they fix it, they fix it. I have no problem with that. Again, they're also saying our intention is to keep the story, script, and content as authentic. So there's a running theme of the word authentic and authenticity to keep it true to the originals, as authentic as possible to original games, while providing much higher fidelity with modern quality of life improvements. So they go on to say the Command & Conquer look and feel is incredibly important to us. It will be one of the benchmarks we judge every decision against. And again, they've done to do this. The developers have assembled a community council of 13 dedicated Command & Conquer players who will be sounding board for various decisions made during development, which is great. This is why you need the original developers on board when you're remastering games, and not letting it just down to frickin' EA, who will just crap all over it and just change it and just ruin the game. This is the right way of doing it. Original developers getting on board, remastering the originals with proper Command & Conquer players who've played the game hours, days, weeks, and months, because they know they've played the game. EA haven't played the freaking game, so they'll be looking at the monetary value. Of course, it's all about the dollar, and not looking at the gameplay, how they can improve it, how they can improve the. One of the things was the improved UI, the sidebar here, as you can see, they're improving it. Maybe having, I think they had tabs in Red Alert 2. I think they may be obviously bringing that into these games as well. So yeah, just tweaking things.
yeah, this is the right way of doing it, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really pleased that, you know, they're doing it the right way. It certainly seems like they're doing it the right way off the bat. So, I love this. I just love this, and then obviously the Tesla coils, classic stuff. Red Alert isn't being remastered, which is a shame, because this is the game which I played Red Alert 1 a lot, but I played Red Alert 2 more, and it was just off the chart. I remember this map. I remember this map. Good old skirmishes. Man, it's so good. I plowed hours into this game. I say weeks, months. This is my thing. This is my thing. Oh yes, and the deployment of the guys, the infantry you can sandbag. Oh god, I'm gonna have to try to play this and see if I can get it running on Windows 10. It's just so good. Let me know if you would want me to play Red Alert and Red Alert 2 and original. See if I can get them playing somehow. Don't know how, but I'll look into it. So obviously the sidebar. So here we got the tabs, right? So the tabs for the buildings, defense buildings, infantry, and then obviously vehicles. So they obviously, I think they're bringing this kind of style to the original Command & Conquer and the original Red Alert, because it was a lot easier to kind of pick what you know, to organize what you're building instead of just everything you have to one list you have to scroll down as a pain in the ass. So yeah, so they're making all these changes, and what they've also said about the sidebar is like they're making changes. These have been done in aspiration of keeping the spirit of the legacy sidebar. So it's all about keeping it, because that's what, again, that is a massive part of the Command & Conquer series, where you've got the sidebar is a big part of it. Right? I know it sounds stupid, but if they completely revamped it and made it completely different, it just wouldn't feel like a Command & Conquer game to me. That's what I say. Release date. Well, I think they've only just started developing, if not started that. So it's a long way off. It's a long way off, but they're kind of speaking to the community before they're actually in pre-production, so they can get as much detail as possible on how to improve things and where to start and what things to tweak before they actually then go into production and remastering the games. So it's a long way off, but it says as of April 2019, it's nearly nearing the end of pre-production, so a release date is still a long way away, which is a shame. But the fact that it's in the works is a good thing, and I cannot wait for the release of these remastered games. Prism tanks, mate. These prism tanks right here. If these were they're weak as hell. Like the defense is so bad, but if you get like this was a part of when you're playing it online, you would get a crap load of prism tanks. Because their range is amazing, and if you got a lot of them together, they would fire off each other, and the fire, the prism, or the laser, or whatever it is, would get stronger the more you have. You just get a bunch of them, and you would just wreak havoc on units, on buildings. They were so OP. But if obviously, you had stronger tanks come against them, then you get wiped out pretty darn quickly, so you got to be careful. So you have to have like a bunch of prism tanks, but then you would have to have maybe some more heavy duty tanks protecting them. Look at this, see, they bounce off each other like pew, 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 pew. Yes, love that, man. Oh, it's so good. It's so freaking good. I love this. So I'll pause this for now, but this was Generals. I did play Generals for a fair bit. It was completely different because it's kind of more 3D. It wasn't, well, it was 3D. And
it gave a different perspective on Command and Conquer, but I think it retained the whole style. You've got a different kind of UI setup here. So instead of at the side, it's at the bottom. I prefer it on the side, if you ask me, because this just limits. I know it's going to limit your kind of screen anyway. This was just a little bit. It's too much. It's encroaching too much, I feel. But it was. I find it was a great game. It was a great game. I really enjoyed Generals. After Generals, I don't know what actually kind of happened after Generals and the expansion pack for Generals. I kind of lost it after that. Oh god, this takes me back. It's wonderful. RTS games are like my bag. That's where I started. Age of Empires, Command and Conquer, The Settlers. I think I'm going to be doing a video about, you know, my favorite RTS games. But guys, just amazing. So going back to the kind of remastered game that they're bringing out. So like I said, it's going to be for the original Command and Conquer. It's going to be for the original Red Alert, and so it's going to be Covert Operations, which is the so they had 3 expansions for both games. So they're bringing all 3 expansions for both games for both of those, Command and Conquer and Red Alert, which is great. So it's all going to be in one. And this is the thing. So they'll all be included with both games in a single package. EA made it clear there will be no microtransactions for these new versions of the old games. I mean, that should just be a no-brainer anyway. That should be just, you know, standard, no microtransactions. This is classic games. Never had this kind of crap in the games. They were made and to a great standard, and you paid your money. You paid your 50 quid or whatever, and that was it. And then you have expansions which you pay an extra £20 for or whatever, which are great. I was more than happy to pay, well, probably my parents at the time, pay for getting those expansions because you were getting more content for that. But nowadays with microtransactions, they're taking the absolute piss, and you never get that in these old games. These were just polished, and okay, there were a few bugs here and there. This is what you kind of get. But that's what made the game so great. I'm going to go back to Red Alert 2 because I love it. It's just a shame what EA have been doing recently, and they're just. I was watching a video recently, yesterday I think actually, where they were trying to. Was it EA or was it Epic Games? Yeah, it was about Fortnite, wasn't it? And about, so, you know, pay to play and things. You know, yeah, it's free to play, but they were denying that they were in it for the money. And they weren't talking about loot. They weren't calling loot boxes. Loot boxes, they were calling them surprise mechanics. Surprise mechanics. Surprise! You get a load of crap for nothing and you spent all your money. And there was an example of a kid that had used his uncle's account, which obviously had his uncle's credit card on, and he spent £1,600 worth in one day. And the guy was just like, from Epic Games, like, yeah, no, I don't think that's possible. Yeah, it is, because they have what, the special deal of £99.99p, like to get all your the points or the in-game currency to buy loads of things. So times that by X amount, you get to the 1,600. But no, you can't. That can't. You can't spend that amount of money in one day. I mean, and then he contradicted himself later in the hearing. It was the British guy who was who were not interrogating. That's the wrong word, but like questioning them. They were great. They were like laying into them, and the guys from Epic Games, they just came across as ridiculously stupid. But that kind of going back, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. That's what I just don't want in these old games. Yes, remaster them, but don't bring in the new 21st century loot box microtransactions to our old games, which we know and love, because that is bullcrap. And the fact that they have to say that is just wrong in the first place. You shouldn't need to say that, because these old games never had that type of stuff in them in anyway. So if they did start to put them in, then gamers would just go, like, I was going to swear, but like, just go off on one, and it would just be ridiculous. So a little bit of a rant there, but yeah, all in all, I'm excited. I'm excited. So excited. So what do you guys think? Have you played Command and Conquer? If you have, oh look, the sniper. So these were the British faction. Yes, a sniper. Ready for this? This guy's gonna get wiped out. Yes. So what I'm most disappointed about is that they're not doing Red Alert 2. Red Alert 2 was so good. Which is a shame. I don't know why they're not. Whether they will do it in the future, I really hope so. If they're remastering the first, the Command and Conquer and Red Alert, then they've got to at some point do the Red Alert 2 as well. That'd be great. That'd be great. But that was my video for Command and Conquer. Again, I rambled on a little bit. I absolutely love this. And so here's the website. Pause this for a second. Here's the website of Remastered from EA. So they're just obviously talking about here, which I've kind of gone over anyway. They are getting together with the guys from Westwood and now, which are Petroglyph. So these guys, which is fantastic. Yeah, and this is the what am I talking about? So this is the website PC Gamer. I was reading through this, and this is where I got a lot of the details from. So, obviously they came up with these bits and pieces, but it's great. I just wanted to put my view across and my passion, because I love these games. I really do. And this is kind of where I kind of started with the PC. I think it was the Settlers, which I kind of started on PC first. Or was it maybe it was even SimCity, SimCity 2000, I think. But all those types of games were my bag. I loved them. Just, oh yeah. Yeah. I loved consoles, but the PC is where I started. So let me know your views. If you played Command & Conquer, let me know which ones. Which ones were your favorite if you have played? And what do you think of this remastered edition? What would you get the guys to change? Would you change anything? But let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. Let's get a conversation going about this. This is just a wonderful, wonderful game. Wonderful news. So thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you did like the video, then please consider subscribing to the channel. What I will say is, me and my buddy Will from Double Jump Gaming, we are setting up a new channel, which has been set up. It's called Too Lame to Game. Give us a search on YouTube. There's no videos yet, but we will be kind of migrating across to there. So yeah, we'll be joining forces there. But yeah, consider subscribing. Click the notification bell, and like I said, get involved with the comments. Put it in the section below, and click that like button. Click the thumbs up. Really does help. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.